all. She's given up. She said fine.
Why are you hurting?
Aww.
I'm manhandling you.
Stop. I hate her. Ew.
You gotta stay by yourself for a second, okay?
She said no. No!
Don't do this to me.
No!
You're my father.
What are you
Oh,
doing?
no.
Why do I
Why do you reject me?
Alright, cool.
Did you set that on multiply?
Yeah. Right. Like so.
You don't have a drink?
I have my coffee.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring it over. I just wanted to see what it looked like.
I noticed that if we have the mics facing away from each other and like pointed downwards, like it creates less of an echo.
Yeah.
At least when I'm on my live stream.
Okay. It still has to point like at your face though. Can you talk a little bit? See.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. 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 My name is Audrey.
Dang, our last live one.
Yeah,
Is that
right.
sad? I don't know.
'Cause
I feel
we
like
can
it's
always go
relieving a little
back.
bit.
Literally that. I think that this will be a better format for us anyway.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think with our scheduling too, the way it's about to be.
I was gonna say that I could probably like whenever we decide to record on Monday, we can do it whenever we want, and then I can just take Monday night to like edit our podcast a little bit down,
Yeah.
so that I can post it on all of our platforms,
Gotcha.
and I could post it by Tuesday,
Shit.
like Tuesday afternoon or something like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, cool. So our new like release date for the podcast would be Tuesdays instead of Mondays.
Gotcha.
Unless you want to switch our recording day for a different day.
Maybe for this first one, we record it before Monday.
Yeah.
So that it's on Monday, and
Okay.
then we just start up on recording Mondays. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna save all these cards so that I can read them later. Because I feel like they're important.
Yes.
Here
It's
we
the full
go.
moon today, so
I know.
today
Let me
and
breathe.
tomorrow. Yeah, today and tomorrow. It's the strongest tomorrow, though. And it's a moon in Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
let's get this
A
shit,
lot of getting
bitch.
your shit together.
Yeah.
Get your
literally.
fucking shit together is what the Capricorn said.
Don't talk to me like that.
I know.
I hate
You have
them.
Capricorn in your chart, though.
I know. I hate her.
Huh.
But I put in the transition like a different. It was a watercolor wipe.
Oh.
So I just.
Ooh.
You
Ooh. Oh, that's cool. And then it automatically just starts picking up on our mics.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that cool?
That
because
is cool.
only one of the scene has all of our mics and like the camera and stuff on it, and then the other one is just a picture.
Nice.
Yeah, I just figured that out. So, period. What's that?
We're learning. We're getting better at this.
Yes. Okay, cool. Let's see how much. Okay, cool. All right, ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
1, 2, 3, and
Action. Hey, y'all. It's weird being us just two again. Like, I felt like we got used to having guests.
Right. I mean, I like the guests, but honestly, this burnout episode came for a reason. So
yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Both of us. I feel like mine, if you look back on the episodes, you can like see me slowly talking about how my work was getting more and more stressful.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move my
Go ahead.
a little bit.
Go ahead.
All right. Anyway.
Alrighty. You want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, sure. Hi. Welcome to our live stream. This is And They Were Roommates. My name is Audrey, otherwise known as First.Generation. You can catch me on Instagram. I'm going to be game streaming on Twitch a lot more often now, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. This is Angel, my love.
Howdy, y'all.
Put in the plugs, girl.
Alrighty, y'all. My name is Angel. Like she said, you can follow me on Instagram as Avocado Papi. YouTube, I live stream every Sunday at 6 p.m. It's really useful if you're trying to get to learn some stuff. You could come in, ask me some questions. If you need some help with some art or some character designs, I'd be happy to answer some questions on that live stream. Let's see. I have a Patreon that I always like to put into places. Basically, you pay a monthly fee, and then you get rewards or perks for that fee. So, for example, art ahead of anybody else seeing it. You get behind the scenes stuff, even some art that I don't even post on my Instagram. So stuff like that. And then you get access to my private community, which is just building each other up, helping each other out. That kind of vibe is what I want to build for my community. And then the last tier, you do get a free sticker after 3 months.
Oh, period. Look at that,
Designed
guys.
by me and my boyfriend.
Oh, so. Cute. Cereal, period. That's awesome. I'm glad that you finally, have a Patreon, something that someone can actively invest in you and your business. So.
Yeah, we're really trying to push that right now, the Patreon, and then our online shop right now. And then we're going to be doing a lot of vending events. So that's our push for this upcoming, summer into fall season.
Yes. And we were just talking about it. The moon is full. It is a super moon. It's the first super moon of 2023. Yes, she is screaming. We're gonna become Super Saiyans. Yeah. And the full moon is in Capricorn, y'all. So it's time to bury our heads in our work, be super productive. But that is also why we are having this episode. But I would love for you to talk about our card of the day.
Today, the card of the day, honestly, just like a bunch fell out, and I picked up the one that was facing up first, and it was a 3 of Cups. So this card to me, when it comes out, is like camaraderie, like friendship, like a little party situation, more like a kickback more than a party. Like very intimate and very like friendshipy.
They got their drinks in their hands.
I think it's perfect for at least the household that we have here. Like we need to go like out one time because we haven't gone out all together in a while.
I know, since Merlin's birthday, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, I just don't have the same days off as y'all do, but maybe tomorrow, question mark, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But I like that 3 of Cups energy because that's honestly what we need right now, I feel.
I agree.
So how have you been? How have you been doing?
I'm tired.
I know, girl.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But also I'm not.
I know.
It's more just so right now I'm in look for another job mode because I just feel like my I don't want to say my talents, but definitely like my energy can be put towards something a little bit more like giving back. Right now, I
Oh,
just feel
okay.
like I'm giving all this energy and it's being absorbed and then bursted out. Like I don't get
Yeah.
any kind of return right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads, into the burnout situation that we're in, which is
Mm.
why we brought up the episode,
Yes.
just to show y'all like how we're combating that for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and maybe how you can do that as well.
Yeah.
So, but
Period.
that's just like what, because I'm the one that messaged you about the burnout episode because I
Yes.
was like, because I knew you were
Yes. You.
feeling it and then I was feeling it. So I'm just like,
Yes.
let's talk about it.
We have to, like, and
Yeah.
it's something that's so prevalent in our lives, like just because we are working on ourselves consistently, it doesn't mean that we're still human beings.
Yeah, I get tired.
Yeah, girl, what the heck? I need some rest.
I get
Like,
tired and I get moody.
yes, yeah. I was having a real mood last Monday when Moxie was here, and I
Mm.
was like trying so hard to not let it affect me, but honestly it just affects all of you. It affects your
Yes.
physicality, your mental, your spiritual. Like, ugh, it's so gross. You just gotta like wipe all that muck.
It's hard to let go too because it's just like sitting in your chest almost.
I know,
So
yeah.
you remember
Heavy.
yesterday or was that yesterday?
Mm.
When our friend Katie came over,
Mm.
we had
Oh
did
yeah,
like
yeah.
this little breathing exercise,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like so relieving. Like, cause me and Katie are kind of going through similar situations,
Mm-hmm.
so like just a nice little breathing exercise like
Yes,
was
yeah.
good.
Just like it,
I'm
like
not.
can get tiring.
It didn't solve any problems, but it made me feel better a little bit.
Yes, yeah, and honestly, but that's the thing is like you help yourself make yourself feel better by doing all that meditating, the deep breathing, and then
Yeah.
slowly and surely the other feelings like your mental stability and your
Mm-hmm.
physical stability too. That all matters.
I agree.
Whenever you start doing your meditation and stuff.
For real,
So
for
I
real.
love that for you.
But
Good
yeah,
job,
that was
girl.
me going into
Mm-hmm.
like this upcoming today. You know what I mean? But how was your week?
My week was good. My week was really nice because it's a long weekend. So
Oh, nice.
I have today and tomorrow off from school.
I was wondering why you were
That's
home.
great.
I was like, why is this
Shut
bitch
up,
home?
whatever. He's like, oh.
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 So I can't walk around naked.
You better not be fucking weirdo. Ugh, you put your pants on.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I've been feeling okay. I have been feeling really burnt out, but it's not even just because of like I've been doing so much. I haven't been working, but it's more of like the mental load that I'm taking on with like group projects and then having to deal with other people socially, and then my social anxiety kind of kicking in, and then also just like drama being created by other people. I'm letting other people affect me basically. But that's more of like an inward thing that I have to work on, more of like not anything that I can control. I can't control other people and how they handle things and their emotions, which I think that I'm definitely not trying to do, but I'm trying to like build myself up again. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to finally get back into the good habits that I used to have when I was used to my schedule. Like I had a consistent schedule, like working as a cook and just living my life like that. But now that I'm working towards bettering myself, I'm like, okay, well, I've dashed away all of my really good habits because I have a completely new schedule. Like my mental capacity has had to increase in exponentially because of school. And then now I'm finally getting back on track of like, okay, I have these priorities. How am I going to realign myself, so that I don't get burnt out?
Right.
Because I did. I
Realigning is probably going to be a big
topic,
vocabulary
sure.
word, I guess.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I've been feeling pretty good though going into the full moon. Now that the new week has started, and today I just took like an hour or two of my time this morning to like really write out all of the things that I have to do, like for my stream, for this podcast, and for like, any YouTube videos that I want to pump out. I have to make sure that I'm on top of my stuff so that I release everything at the right time throughout the week, and then also take time to study. So
Right.
it's good that I think that both of us, we're really kind of getting more into that transitionary period of like things are going to change, but it's going to be for the better, you know. So I'm kind of glad that my school has allowed us so many days off at the beginning of of our classes, because apparently when the other cohort they started, it was just completely 7 days a week, you know, like maybe
7 days a week.
or not 7 days a week, I'm sorry, 5 days a week they would do.
I was about to say
Sorry,
those poor people.
no, yeah, I know. That's really awful. I'm so sorry. No, they would do 5 days a week, but they wouldn't have any breaks. Like they didn't have as many holidays. But now that it's the end of their semester, we're all having the same days off, and now they have their vacation days, you know? So hearing from them, that was way more difficult for them to like, oh my God, like I'm going to school every fucking day of the week, you know, and then project after project after project. And then for us, it's more of like, oh, la di da, you know, we're going to school, kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. And
got
then
a 4-day weekend for the third time in a row.
literally that. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm chilling right now, but it's about that time that I buckle up, because it's not going to be that way anymore.
Buckle up. I like that. Period.
Like a fucking rocket, bitch. Oh my God. It's coming. I know
it's definitely like a wind up before the throw, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? Yeah.
Don't throw me out the window, bitch.
The calm before the storm.
Yeah. So, but that kind of leads us into our thoughts that think for today. How do you describe burnout?
I would describe burnout as you being not only like physically exhausted, but mentally, emotionally, like just done. You're probably sick.
Yes.
You know, you're probably
physically
very grumpy, upset. You cannot wake up. And usually burnout is, for me, it causes a lot of like just spontaneity, I guess, because I'm just trying to, you know, counterbalance all the negative feelings that I'm feeling with something more positive or something that feeds me. You know what I mean?
I
Which is why I feel like overindulgence comes along with burnout.
Oh, overindulgence. I like that. That sounds very interesting.
What do you think?
I also agree with your definition. I think that burnout is not just about situations. It can be about people. It can be about the situations that people put you in, or even, you know, other people's emotions that can really burn you out. You know, you as a human being are naturally endowed with this ability, this intuition of accepting other people's feelings and energies, and that can positively affect you and like how you present yourself and how you know, prioritize yourself and your being in the grand scheme of things, honestly.
Prioritizing yourself definitely takes a back burner when you're burnt out.
Exactly.
You know, because you don't even realize.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you look in the mirror and your beard's overgrown.
Yes.
And, you know what I'm saying?
It creeps up on you. It really does.
Yeah, it really does.
It can be either way, honestly. I've experienced both, where it's like a sudden drop in my mood, a sudden, you know, like when one thing goes wrong, you know, my whole day was ruined. That was basically me last Monday. I was like, damn, why do I feel like this? And it was also burnout along with like all of these other things. And when I get in like the headspace of burnout, like I start thinking about all the negative things that have ever happened to me in my life, and I'm like, well,
same.
Same. You know,
like everything for some reason just hits me in the fucking
avalanche.
face.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm like, what the heck?
I'm like, bitch, I can't, like, not only do you want me to work, you want me to like think of all this other negative shit like going on, like it's just crazy. I haven't
thought of this bitch in a year.
Your brain really sometimes works against you, like sometimes, honestly.
It really does. But it's honestly because like I didn't take the time to take breaks to ensure that my mental and physical and spiritual well-being were being taken care of.
Right.
You know, it's just so easy to get caught up in the daily routine of things and going to work and going to school and, you know, driving back home and being exhausted and then going to the gym and then, you know, now you got to get ready for the next day already. You know, it's like you get caught up in life.
It's a part where the day is done and you feel
Mm.
like for some reason you're unaccomplished, even though you got everything done. It's
Yeah.
that feeling. And I don't know why, but like, we're still working on ourselves, obviously. So and when I
Obviously.
find the answer, I'll give it to y'all.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like what you said, that feeling.
Yeah, well, I think that that feeling comes from, you know, like we're used to accomplishing those things, so it doesn't feel like a big accomplishment. Like just yesterday, I was talking to somebody about how they have never really been grateful for the small things in life. Like I
Mm,
was describing to him like, "Oh man, I enjoy the feel of the sun on my skin. I love feeling a breeze through my hair and like closing my eyes and being able to take in a deep breath of like fresh smelling air. Like, ooh, it hits different. Like, or
yeah.
like, you know, wintertime, I love the cold. And then you drink a cup of hot chocolate. Like, those are the
Yeah.
moments that I live for. It's those small things.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
love
like,
that.
I literally don't think that I have ever been grateful for those small things. And I was like,
Mm,
well, honestly, it might just be because, you know, you haven't been able to attune yourself to that grit mentality. You know what I mean?
right.
It takes a while
It's definitely
to,
a way of thinking, I feel, that not everybody subscribes to, being
yeah.
grateful.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also just like, you know, you have to practice it a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And you have to, it might sound like you're faking it at first, but like we said before, you know, you fake that positivity until it starts becoming a reality for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it very quickly becomes a reality, you know? And I think that this guy, you know, he has been experiencing burnout. He's been experiencing this burnout because there are so many people in his life that, you know, overlook the good things that he does, or, you know, like the
I feel
small
that.
things that he does, nobody is saying thank you to him for.
Damn. I feel
So
him.
yeah, you know, and so it's not easy to experience that gratefulness for those small things in life when you have never experienced gratefulness from any out external factor other
Mm-hmm.
than, you know, maybe yourself saying, hey, good job, you know, good job me. But honestly, that should be enough. It should be, but we're humans, so it's
Yeah. And we
not.
crave like validation from our family members, friends, and relationships.
Exactly,
I feel like
period.
that's what sent me even deeper into my burnout, was that I was like, I'm all like, damn, I can carry all y'all, but y'all, nobody can carry me for a
Yes.
second. Like, I
Yes,
hate y'all.
girl. Yes, girl. No, it's okay. I hate y'all.
No, I don't. I don't hate y'all. But like, damn,
I hate y'all. No, I'm just
y'all
kidding.
can't call me or nothing. Like, dang.
Lazarus says, hey, Angel.
Hey, how's it going?
Yee.
Welcome to my podcast, or
Welcome
our
in.
podcast. LOL, my bad.
Yes. Yeah, whatever.
My
No, I'm doing it.
podcast. Thank you for stopping in. He was
Yes.
at my figure drawing class, so I
Mm.
appreciate him.
Hi. I'm so glad that you came in. Um, anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No, you're good.
but basically, how did you experience your burnout this time around? Like, what made you realize that you were burnt out or overwhelmed, I guess?
So it was this particular moment where I realized I was so overwhelmed that I just shut down at work. Like, I was
Ooh.
like, I couldn't even in that moment remember like anything else but what I was doing at the time. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? Like
okay.
trying to put on a face, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a split second. Like, I finished what I was doing,
Mm.
and I told my partner next to me, I was all like, I'm gonna go cool off for a second, because I was just so overwhelmed, and
Oh, wow.
like it felt like I couldn't even feel my hands. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wow.
And
I feel that.
I was just so overwhelmed in that moment, and I went to the back, and I was like shaking,
Oh my
and I was like
God.
hot.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, I was just heated, honestly, and I was really trying to calm myself down.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I talked to the person that triggered me that I finally was able to like let out all my stuff in the most like professional way possible.
Oh, wow.
But it was just like that moment I was all like, I need to get out of here. And then like that moment when I realized I need to get out of here, it felt like so many other moments like came together. Like the finances of like where I was working was not meeting to my expectations. So obviously I just don't like that in general.
Yes.
Like I don't who likes to be underpaid? Not me.
Nobody.
I need my bag. Like for real.
How dare you?
So that, and then that hit, and then also the hit of like it just feels like I'm wasting my time, and then like a bunch of other like feelings came up from like the past. So it was like you said, it's just like an avalanche of things that were coming towards me, and I just felt like I wasn't able to handle it. You know what I mean? And so like I completely like just not crumbled, because I was still like going to the gym, and like I was not eating right. I have not been like, I've been eating right for the past like 3 days, and I can tell you that it's already made such a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just eating at home and eating like stuff that you don't buy off a food truck. No shame to food trucks. Pop off.
No,
y'all are delicious,
but y'all are expensive.
It's not healthy.
What the heck, guys? Yeah. What the heck?
So I'm just eating like fried chicken basically.
Oh yeah. That.
And so not feeling good.
No.
Like,
of course not.
My skin looks bad a little bit, and
I
then
didn't notice.
Thanks.
I think it looks fine.
And then my beard, like I looked at my beard just yesterday, and it was like
you're just hair.
It was too much. So it was just all that was burnout.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like, like that's what my recent experience with burnout was. So also keeping up with our business, you know, like I like to think that we're doing a really good job for just 2 people, you know, trying to make it out here, you know, me and Merlin.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's difficult. He works full time basically. So it's hard getting him to like line up his schedule with like, okay, we need to produce this artwork for this event and you know what I mean? Like, so we also have that going. I have my live streams, and then on top of that, okay, now I want to start looking for a new job. And so all that is just like crazy amounts of stuff. And then like one thing that comes to mind right now is like, what is my family going to think of me? You know what I mean? What are they going to think of me that I fall so like this? You know what I mean? I got to pick myself up. But that just brings me into like a lower depression where I'm just like, they're going to see me like this, or if I ask for help, like they're going to know that I'm not responsible or And it's just like, and that's where the anger comes in, because it's just like, if they were to talk to me while I'm winning, they would see this falling part as something maybe a little bit less. But if they're only going to be contacting me, or I'm only going to be contacting them when it's hard, then it becomes a little bit, you know, overwhelming to like only contact them when you realize that you're in a pickle, you know?
Ooh, I see.
So like all those emotions and all that stuff, burnout, you know what I mean? For me this time.
Yes, girl. So then what, like, even though you have all of these things going on in your life, what makes you suddenly think of your family whenever you are going through so much, when you have so much on your plate? Like, you have your business, you have your relationship, you have a job currently, you know, it's not like you don't have a job, you know? And then, you know, you have your business, and you're doing your art, and then you are doing your live stream, and you're still going to the gym, and you're trying to eat right. What causes you to start making like conscious thoughts about your family when they're not even here?
Honestly, it's not even conscious. I can't say that word. Conscious.
Yeah, you're good.
Conscious. It's like it just hits me in the face, you know, a little bit. Like it's like trigger stuff that happens.
Oh, okay.
So like me noticing that kind of stuff, like I'll reorient myself into a more positive direction.
Oh, okay.
So like if I notice I'm thinking poorly about certain relationships, I'll try to give myself some time, like, okay, as soon as you get your shit together, you can contact them and you can have a good time. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, so let me do this. Let me focus on this. So it doesn't become about them anymore. It's more like, okay, now I need to focus on myself a little bit before I can approach them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Any type of relationship, you know what I mean? Because you're going to approach people at your worst, and they're either not going to be able to handle it, or they're going to help you, or what, like, I just don't.
You can't really control other people.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
Like, they're, at the end of the day, like, they have their own life going on too.
Exactly.
So.
And maybe it's a pride thing. You know what I mean? Maybe I have a little bit of a pride thing going still.
With your family, or just
in general, just like in general, like,
you
I don't.
Leo. So.
Yeah, exactly. That Leo energy.
You are fire sign.
But yeah, that's how it feels. Like, I'm very like loyal to my family, and I just want to please them. I want to make them happy, and I want to show them that what I can achieve, like success on my own, in my own way. Wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like when I do feel like this, like it hits me in the pride, my ego, because I'm not meeting expectations of them or myself.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Do you even know what their expectations are of you then?
Success, being like, not success, like I don't have to own a fucking mansion or nothing, but I definitely do think that they want me to be like, just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Hold on.
It's okay.
Get away from me. I guess just like sustainable. Like me myself, just like able to like
just stable,
stay afloat. You know what I mean? Like be an adult.
I see.
And I'm doing my best. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm doing my
girl,
best.
You are, honest to God. It's hard, especially when you want to be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
I know.
You have to have investors, you know. Like,
I know.
So where the investment at, Mom, Dad?
No, I don't want that. See, I don't want that. Like, I want to like, I just don't want like that kind of like help from them for some reason. I don't know. I'll go to therapy for that. But
I think it goes back
also,
to the
they don't
pride.
even, it's not like they offered or anything. You
know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, I'm good. Like, I'm really trying hard, you know, to become successful as an artist. So
yeah, you are.
We're going to see how this goes.
You got this, girl.
I know I got this.
You just got to keep on at it, but also taking the you know, time that you need for yourself, which, like, honestly, you need to take like time away for yourself, like with nobody else. I feel like that's honestly the best way to reset, is just like being able to clear your mind and clear your schedule and do something for you. Yeah, that's specifically for you.
Yeah, that's why I have tarot, really, because that's exactly what I did. Is like, that's I feel like this is why I've been able to stay afloat. You know, I don't know if that's a question. Is that a question? I don't want to go too far ahead.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Okay, cool.
We don't have to
damn, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
I can't tell you either. No, I'm just kidding. You said it's hard to stay afloat.
Oh, the way I keep myself afloat is with my spirituality, the gym, and then also like just making myself happy, doing things that I want to do. You know what I mean? So spirituality would be like tarot cards, and basically me asking for assistance from my guides and my saints that I hold like highly. You know, like the moon, the sun, like the God. Moon. Yeah. Asking for spiritual intervention in the sense of like, give me wisdom to get me out of this situation. Ooh. Give me strength and temperance to deal with these situations, to not only like have me able to handle situations, but to handle my emotions and my overactive brain. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
So all that kind of gives me a moment to think about like how to handle those situations. I'm not saying that it's like the guides actually talking to me, but the cards definitely have meaning built into them. Yes. So I'm able to interpret, and my brain is making conclusions based on those cards. Yes. So I'm able to kind of critically think of how I'm going to be able to get myself out of this situation. You know?
Girl. Good. That's good. I'm glad that the tarot cards are like a good outlet for you to really externalize what you've been internalizing, really. Yes. You know, it's like a way for you to get rid of all of your biases and all of your, you know, the reality of things, and then truly go deeper inside of you and how you truly feel and who you truly are. And I think that I think that you really opened my eyes to that a little bit more recently, because whenever we did first start doing like tarot card readings, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm like really in tune with my spirit and all that good stuff. But now that I realize that it's more about like my intuition and how I feel and who I really am at my core of myself, like I feel like I can trust the tarot cards a little bit more because it's open to interpretation.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. It's a psych game. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah. But it's also like it is a very spiritual thing too,
Yes.
because I think about all the people before me that have made me into the person who I am today. Like the whole reason why I exist is because of all these other people before me and before my mom and before my dad, and they're still, looking out for my soul in particular.
Like ancestry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit about how I feel towards my spirituality now.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Like honestly, burnout and spirituality, like I needed to combat the burnout energy, because
Yes.
spirituality is all about like just chilling out and like getting to know who you are with your
Yes.
like divine energy,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that may be, like God or whatever.
Yeah.
But you just taking a moment to like connect with yourself and be like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm fucking exhausted.
Yes.
What do I do
Fucking
now?
exhausted.
I'm fucking exhausted. What do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
And then you use the cards, maybe, or some other outlet, maybe a journal, maybe a therapist, maybe your friend, to like kind of work out a plan.
All of those
Maybe
things.
your partner, to actually work out a plan together that can get you. And then it's also like a chance for you to like open up and be like, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Can we make up a plan to make me feel better about like how are we going to get out of this situation? Maybe, if your partner is dependable like that. Bless you.
I was trying so hard to mute it, but it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I want to ask you though, what are like some ways that are like that you combat your burnout?
How I combat my burnout. Honestly, I didn't even really realize what burnout was up until I started like going to different food service jobs. Like I was with this restaurant, Yard House, for like 3 years, and I also had another full-time job, and I was a full-time student at the same time. And
That's crazy.
I didn't realize that, I was just ignoring literally everything that I needed to do for myself. And I just kept going. I just kept grinding it out for like years. I did that for 2 years. And then the third year, it was just like so many things were up and down, like my relationship. And then my manager's relationships with me were going up and down, me and my coworkers up and down. And then I just ended up like, they wanted to fire me. And then I ended up quitting. And for me to be put in that like hole, it made me feel like, oh my God, what am I really doing the rest of my life? Why did I spend all of that time, with this company when I should have been focusing more on my education, when I should have been focusing more on like my own priorities?
I've been there.
Exactly. Everybody's been there, and I like had to have that realization to understand completely what burnout was. And, the first time you experience burnout, you're going to feel, thoughtless or mindless or worthless even. You might fall into a depression. You might feel like you're not a contributing member of society. And in that case, that's not the case though. The case is that you have just been working so hard up until this point where you finally have a break to think about yourself and what you're doing and how you're doing, and all of a sudden you feel like shit because you haven't been taking care of yourself.
Period.
And
I love that.
You feel like you're not being productive when in reality this is the rest that you needed. I didn't realize that I needed rest. As a human being, I thought work, like go, because that's how I grew up. My parents were both go-getters. They both have very amazing hard work ethics, but they don't ever spend time for themselves. They don't spend their money on themselves. Or if they do, then it's like at large amounts on like dumb things, like gambling or a pyramid scheme,
Not that.
Things like that. Those are actual things that are stupid. Mom. No, I'm just kidding.
Mama.
Dad. No. But
Get them.
it's yeah, you know, I try to tell them because you know, I don't want them to feel how I feel whenever I do feel burnt out, because they've been going at this for years, like since they moved to America, really. They've been consistently going at it, and like, you know, even on our vacations, they're still on the go, you know. Somebody that comes to mind whenever I think about burnout, I think about my friend Emily, because she is such a go-getter. She's a Capricorn. She like is headstrong. She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants to get done. Like when she goes on vacations, she even has like all of those plans planned out, you know.
I really like Capricorns for that reason.
I love it. I love how she plans. Like that's literally me to a T, especially when it comes to travel. But like, girl, you're on vacation. You should be relaxing. Like you don't have to go and get it every day, you know. Eventually you're gonna feel so tired. You're gonna feel so worn out and done, and like you're in a rut because, you know, you don't have that excitement anymore. On those days that you finally get rest, you know, you're still on the go and you're like, what the fuck is happening? I'm not on the go anymore.
Do you feel like that's why people go through midlife crisis?
Yes.
You think they're just like in fucking go mode, and then all of a sudden they're like,
yes, because it's a crisis, because it's like, oh shit, there's like more to life than just going and getting it, you know.
yeah,
like you finally have the time to realize like, oh my god, I've been going and getting it for half of my life now. What am I doing with my life? With us, I feel like we're having a quarter life crisis because we have the ability to say, stop. What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? What am I going through right now? And
definitely that. I love that.
yeah, and we've been getting it for the last however many years of our life, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, even almost years of our life since we've turned 16, 18 years old. We've been consistently having full-time jobs. We've been having a full-time business. We've been, you know, getting our bag. We've been trying to take care of ourselves as best as possible. And we have to give ourselves credit for that, because now we're burnt out. You know, we haven't been able to fully recover from all of those days of working, you know. 5 vacation days out of a 365-day year isn't enough for us to really recuperate, even with the holiday time. Like you can't even count the holidays as
holidays
time
are
to
so
vacation.
stressful for me.
Exactly, because you have family, you have friends, you have gifts, you need, you know, you're planning
as a gay
things.
person.
Yes.
That shit's so stressful.
Yes, exactly. Like, and it's the time to be like social too, and socializing can really burn you out. Like, man, dude, fuck. I was super burnt out last week. I couldn't even, you know, make a game night happen because I was just getting so overwhelmed with like talking to new people and doing a group project and having to deal with energies that aren't mine or like my close friends. You know, I love nesting in that kind of energy. I love that nurturing energy that I have with me and my friends. Like you, my friend Paige, I miss her so much.
Shout out Paige.
Yes, period. And like I am around a nurturing friend during those times, like that I'm around other people that I'm not used to. Like in class, I have my friend Emily there. You know, I have her nurturing, caring like energy, but all of that is overridden by all of these other energies, all of these other people who are, you know, fighting to be the top energy, you know, to be the loudest voice in the class. So it just really takes a toll on my mentality, on my spirituality, on my physicality, because it's exhausting to be around so many other people that are so different from me, you know, that I'm not used to. I'm not used to them constantly just getting louder and louder, and like I was used to that at some point in my life, but that was
you could keep up with the energy.
Yeah, but it was also a toxic environment, but I was also a toxic person. And so now that I've finally taken a step back and looked at myself, I'm finally like able to be like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to be a part of that anymore, you know. And that's how I'm combating my burnout, is like, okay, well, you know what, this person's energy is a little bit too much for me, or like, you know, this project that I'm working on is a little bit like overwhelming me, it's stressing me out. I need to take a breather, and I'll take like, 15 minutes away from my project, or, even a whole other day. I'll stop working on my project for the night, and I'll just do something that fucking dissociates me. And, I don't know if people like dissociating. I don't know if people agree with dissociating. I like it personally because I just need to turn my brain off and disconnect from the world for just a quick minute, maybe a whole day.
I feel like that's why I really am drawn to like not social media, media.
Yeah.
Like I love
just
absorbing,
media.
like watching stuff, like people's projects, like what is people creating.
Yes.
Like I want to see
Anime.
these stories.
Yes. YouTube
and
videos.
It takes me out of like reality, but I feel like that's just another form of like not paying attention to yourself. You know what I mean? That's the only thing, is that I think that can go, because I'm all for like absorbing media, but maybe not during a burnout session, maybe something else. But I don't know, escape, like there's so many different types of way. It depends on the person, really.
And it depends on the context of your burnout too, I think. For me with coding, like, I'm consistently looking at a screen 9 to 5 all day long.
Oh God.
So the last thing I really want to do is to continue looking at a screen all day long. Right. So whenever they let us go for breaks, I'll go and talk with other people. That's the socializing part coming in, and sometimes I don't feel like talking to people, so I'll just whip my book out, I'll put my headphones on, and I'll just read like a quick little page or two, or I'll journal, or I'll plan my next day. I'll do something that doesn't involve the screen. On other days like this, like today, where I'm consistently out, I'm trying to do my errands, I'm trying to pay rent, I'm trying to, do other things, I'm trying to set up for our stream. I want to dissociate for a little bit. I'm gonna scroll through my TikTok. I'm gonna look at other people's Instagram posts, or, while I'm doing my cardio, I'll pull up a YouTube video or Crunchyroll, and I'll just, consume media for a little bit, because I'm like, okay, well, I've had enough of the real world for today. I'm gonna try and just, immerse myself in like something inspiring, something creative.
I feel that.
Because even when I'm putting on that YouTube video or that anime, I'm still watching and I'm still analyzing. Like, even though I'm dissociating, I'm still analyzing it, and I'm like, well, wow, I liked how she transitioned her outfits in that one clip. Maybe I can use that in my next video. Or like, oh my God, this anime is so fucking, it's like, wow, they're fucking getting it, I'm gonna get it. Like, and then I'll run up faster.
Or what's that one anime?
Yeah, Mashla.
Yeah, watch that one.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
So good. I love watching animes like that. When I'm like on my Stairmaster, I'm like, yes.
Get it, bitch.
Go. The Titans are gonna get me.
Not the Titans.
So it just depends, like, on what kind of burnout I'm feeling, or like what kind of thing is overwhelming me the most, and I'll take that and I'll try to do the opposite of whatever is combating me and my energy. Sometimes, some days I just need to lie in bed for a little longer. Like last week, it was taking the life out of me, so that weekend I literally slept until like 1 p.m. and that's like very unlike me, that. And I'm like wake up at 8, 9 in the morning, on weekends, and I'll still like,
sometimes rest is a big help. You know what I mean? Rest really is like a simple tool to like help you build up your energy again.
Yes, and reset yourself.
I feel like this is a good time to jump into like overindulgence though. Ooh. Like be careful about overindulging yourself.
Ooh, okay.
What do you feel about that?
I feel like I overindulge myself a lot.
Oh.
And it's not even in a way of like it's the worst thing for me, but it's not the particularly best thing for me. It's an intermediate thing for me, because for the last like week I've been really good about overindulging myself, but the weeks before then I was getting really bad because I was like consuming a lot of media. I was consuming a lot of anime. I was reading mangas and like, just dissociating myself with a lot of media in general. And then I started feeling the effects of that this week, you know, where I'm like, oh my God, you know, what am I doing consuming all this media? I have so much stuff that I need to work on. And like, I have a whole, you know, public account that I need to fix up so that people can keep up with me and so that I can keep up with myself. You know, really in reality, what I'm doing with the stream and with my vlogs is I'm holding myself accountable for these responsibilities so that I understand, like, this is what it takes for me to run my own company. You know, this is what it takes for me to manage myself. I have to learn more about myself and the way that I work and how I can actually be productive with my time.
I love that.
You know, like this is just a setup for me for my real career. And, you know, who knows, maybe if this blows up, if my stream takes off, if my vlogs are like really popular, I'll keep going with it. You know, I love stuff like that. This is my hobby. This is like, you know, something that I am passionate about. I want to keep doing it, but I think that it also helps, you know, in the grand scheme of things, like with time management, project management, and organizational skills and editing. And, you know, I just made my Twitch banner and my offline and my transitioning things on
Gotcha.
OBS. Just
nice. Cute.
a little, yeah, cute, a little better. I can't wait to show everybody. But
do you feel like you like all that stuff was because you overindulged in media? Like, do you feel like, oh, okay, I saw all this stuff, I absorbed all this information. I wonder if there's like a connection between you that and like just the learning phase of like absorbing stuff, and then you being like, okay, I'm gonna incorporate all this stuff that I've seen into like what I do now.
Ooh, yeah. I wish that it were like that.
There's no connection.
I was just being kind of a lazy bum, but I needed that because I needed rest. I needed rest from socializing with people. I needed rest from the computer in general. I just wanted to like melt a little bit, you know. I wanted my brain to be a little mushy for a quick second because I was really solidifying it with all of these new lessons that I'm working. Yeah. But this time around, I'm like indulging in media. I don't think I'm overindulging in media. I think I should give myself more credit for that because I'm now taking an analytical standpoint with it. And, you know, now the YouTube videos that I'm watching are very strategic. Like, okay, this person has this many views. You know, how did she get to that point? Or like, you know, I'll go to somebody's channel and I'll see like, you know, when their viewer count started spiking up dramatically and what changes they made in order to get to that dramatic change, that exponential spike in viewers, you know.
Gotcha.
And that's really now my driving factor is like, okay, I was overindulging in media. I was being a lazy bum. I was consuming media that did not matter and that I was not analyzing it at all.
But there's a way for you to like incorporate you indulging in media to also like help you out. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I can still indulge in media, but how can I be productive with it? How can I take that stuff and like actually take my time absorbing it? You know, I don't want to just be there like a blob and just, you know, with my mouth ajar, just watching a TV
just
screen,
absorbing,
you know? Yeah, exactly. I think that in the end of the things, though, I can take lessons from all of the media that I have absorbed up until now. But at that time, I just didn't want reality to be like a thing.
Right,
you know?
I feel that.
I was just too phased into reality. Because sometimes, honestly, y'all, you need that. You need the break from reality. Sometimes you need the break from the drama of everyday life, from other people's drama, from, you know, the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And maybe even if you just are sick and tired of people cutting you off in the fucking traffic, you know, sometimes you just need to...
Traffic has been so bad. Everybody's mad.
So bad, yeah. And the heat is not making it any better.
Everybody's mad.
Yeah, it's a scientifically proven fact that the heat makes people way more upset and angry and impatient.
Heard.
And it's the hottest summer Texas has experienced, I can say, honest to God. But what about you? How exactly have you been combating this bout of burnout that you've been experiencing now?
Combating, I think I already, did we answer this?
I
Because I
don't
said
think.
spirituality and then going to the gym and all that stuff.
Okay. So then, I guess, what have you learned from like before how you experienced
Compared.
burnout to now? You know.
I will say that I have noticed some red flags that I probably should have paid attention to a little bit more. So I will say that, like,
Really?
for some reason, I let people act a certain way because because I see them as like they're, like I remember King said, I see people as their inner child. I feel like I see people for all their, like, their nuances that they have. And I feel like I can work with that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can work with this. Like, this is like a person I can work with, But then certain red flags start popping up, and then you keep on adding more and more things to that, like, pros list, but all the cons list is just like completely
Huge.
out of the water.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like
I was just a little bit too late on my reaction time.
Oh.
Honestly, like, I felt like if I were to have like been like, that's enough already, and I went to another place, I feel like it would have been like I wouldn't have burned out.
Okay, with particularly in work, your work environment.
Just like at work. As for everything else, I really don't get burned out. Like, I love, like, for my relationships, like, I don't really get burned out by them. I love experiencing relationships, like, of all kinds. My artwork, I can never, maybe one day, but I haven't experienced that yet, where I'm burned out from my artwork. I feel like it's always just dealing with other people's, like, shit, like their drama, as you said, that I get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because some people, well, a lot of the time, they don't even talk about their drama. They just let it affect their mood, and they just, or like, they have past traumas that they haven't healed from.
Exactly.
And then they just make you feel a certain way, and it's just like, you can't control that,
Yeah, it's that.
It's
and then it's
upsetting.
also like, damn, I see you've been through some shit, or I see, like, the way that you think because of this or that. And I'm all like, okay, it's chill, I totally get you. And then I make accommodations, but then no accommodations are made for me. And if there are accommodations made for me, they're like the most basic accommodations, like the bare minimum to keep me happy. It's like giving a dog a bone when you just ate a full steak. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. That's how I felt. So the burnout was, I felt like, came from an angry place in my heart, like a very, like, frustrated. But I use frustration as a way to, like, tune me into, like, what I need to do. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
So that's
good though. I mean, at
so
least
that's
you
that.
acknowledge that,
I'm never gonna let this happen again, basically. is my new outcome as this new me, I guess.
Period.
I evolved.
I evolved. Pokemon.
Yeah, motherfucker. But yeah, that's mine. Let's see.
That's good. That's I think that work especially is such an easy thing to burn out from. And a lot of people just try to bury their heads in work to distract themselves from, like, their everyday lives, but honestly, you should take those moments that you're struggling with in your everyday life and honestly just try to truly be grateful for them, because those are just life experiences that you are having. I was trying to tell that guy that I was telling about the gratefulness and being grateful for every small thing.
Yeah, let's head back to that. I like that.
Yeah, so I was just trying to tell him, like, it's difficult to be grateful for every little thing that you have, because at the end of the day, your feelings are your feelings, and it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel stressed out. It's okay to want to vent. It's okay to feel angry at somebody, but you also have to realize that that's not conducive to you being your best version of yourself. All of that anger that you're holding in, all of the grudges that you have, like, the feelings that you aren't being able to voice in particular to the person that you're upset at, or the situation that you're mad at, it's kind of like a powerless thing to do, a not worthwhile thing to hold onto that negative energy, and instead turning that negative energy into something a little bit more positive and learning from that different perspective. You know, you can't think of negative things as just negative things that you're falling victim to. You have to be the victor. You have to understand,
overcome.
Yes, exactly. Like, you have to understand this is just a situation or a person or a conflict that you have to overcome in order to be something stronger. You know, this
Yeah.
burnout, this feeling of being overwhelmed. This is just something that you have to overcome with being yourself, with being a little bit more productive with your time, understanding how you're managing your time and yourself, you know. And I'm trying to take this experience of burnout and I'm trying to turn it into something a little bit more positive, because I end up in a really negative headspace and I affect the other people around me whenever I get burnt out, and I don't enjoy, like, how I do that. But it's something that I instinctively learned through how other people have treated me with their burnout, with their frustrations, with their feeling of being overwhelmed. I take those feelings that they have taught me as a child, and now as an adult, I express my emotion and my burnout, my overwhelm, like, with those emotions, with those feelings. And I hate that. I hate that part about myself. But now I'm trying to turn that, like, dislike of being like, okay, it's okay. I have to be patient with myself. Like, change doesn't come overnight. I allow myself to get in that mood, but, you know, as soon as I see myself starting to affect other people with my energy, I have to tell myself to stop. You know, I have to bring myself back, reel it in, and be like, hey, girl, like, you need to chill out. Like, you need to probably
I
journal out
feel
your
like,
feelings a
that's
little
definitely a
bit.
fire sign issue.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, anybody can just lash
Anybody.
out when they're burned out. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just a
So
common
common.
thing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's a very human thing to do. I understand it's a very reactionary thing to do, but I'm trying to stop being reactionary and stop taking action as soon as, you know, the subconscious thing happens. You know, it's not a conscious effort that I'm making to make people upset, you know, with my upset. It just happens because subconsciously I'm thinking, man, all of these negative things are happening to me. Why? You know, that's a victim mindset. I'm trying to get out of that mindset so that I can truly understand, like, the way that I work in my core, you know, the way that I want to view things at my core. I don't want to be held back by my feelings of being overwhelmed, because it's so easy to just fall into that cycle. Really, it's a cycle, and if you don't ever, like, break out of it bit by bit, you're just going to keep getting caught up in that cycle of burnout, you know, of
I agree.
working, and then I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Why? And then go
It's also
again.
about the people you surround yourself with. You know what I mean? Like, having like
Yes.
a positive friend or a positive family member or positive
Mm.
partner that is able to, like, even just an animal as well. For
Yes,
me, I
yes, they
remember
help.
my dog Penny.
Oh, Penny.
She shout out Penny. She's with my dad right now. God bless her.
Shout out, Penny.
Um, she was there for me during like the worst time of my life, and honestly,
Mm.
like, having somebody there for you, like, just makes you a little bit more happier, even the bare minimum.
Yes,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So even better if you have a real person to talk
Yeah,
to.
please, yeah, yeah. You know, it's the best. And I think that's a beautiful thing, though, is that, you know, being able to tell people that you are grateful for them and their
Hmm.
experience and their perspective.
Ooh, I like what you said there, because it's not like, not only do you want people to be grateful for you, you have to express gratefulness to other people as well, for them
Exactly.
just doing like chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm appreciative of the vibe that you give off, you know? I like to tell people, you know, that they have a good energy, a good aura, and something that's very comforting, something that's comfortable for me, that I can be vulnerable to them, you know? And in the end of the day, how you build relationships with people that are very long lasting is learning how to be vulnerable around them. And people who are able to express that vulnerability to me, it makes me feel 10,000 times better about myself too, because hey, I have a comforting aura. I have a comforting energy. I have something positive about me that makes people feel like they can open up to me, that they makes them feel that they can be vulnerable. And I love that. I'm grateful for that feeling, because if I never experienced that feeling myself, then I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
Right.
You know, and I've always been grateful, but I just never knew that that was the word that I had to use to express like my appreciation and my love for somebody. You know, it's very difficult for me as a person, because I grew up with like a family that never really said like I love you, you know, or that, like, even now me saying it sounds unnatural.
I love you.
Like, you know that, because I don't say I love you
I'm
ever
like,
to you. I
ew.
literally tell you I hate you,
Yeah.
and like I give you the middle
We
finger
like
and
flick
all.
each other off at the gym and shit.
Literally that. I pretend to like kill each other with our
Yeah,
bare hands.
it's her. I'm not. I love you.
You're
There you go.
such
You
a
can say it.
liar.
I'll say it. I'll say
You're
it.
such a liar. Oh my god, everybody, he's a liar. I'm catching
boy's
it.
a liar.
Live 4K. No, just
I
kidding.
love saying I love you.
HD.
I used to have a real problem saying I love you, like
Oh, really?
too much to people that I didn't even mean
Oh,
it.
Really?
Yeah, I was just be like, oh my god, I love you. You're so
You're a
crazy.
Leo.
I know. It got me in trouble. It got me in trouble.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you are in trouble. Period. Yeah, I've never had that problem.
Yeah.
I have a
I'm
problem.
the opposite of you
Yeah,
in that situation.
exactly. Yeah. But the thing is though, is that I think that's nice, because we literally are like, well, I don't think that my part is nice. I think that, but honestly, I think that you need it, because you need to chill the fuck out.
I be too.
Your head in the
I be
clouds.
too. Yeah, I be too up there, man.
I'm here to bring you back down.
Yeah.
Bitch. Yeah.
I forget, because I treat people like, this is going back to the, like letting people slide because I see them for their flaws and stuff like that. So I want to accommodate them, because but
yes.
I feel like there just needs to be a line drawn, and I just feel
Yes.
like I'm still learning where that line is for certain individuals,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like a person who is above you. For some reason, I give them a lot more slack, when in actuality, if you are above me, I should be giving more pressure to you for, you know, like expectations need to be set. And if I'm upholding expectations that you're not, of course I'm gonna be mad.
Yes.
So it's really,
Of course.
you know, it's his fault,
It's
or
a
it's their
give
fault.
it's a give and take situation. You know,
Yeah.
like there can't just be take. Like there has to be give and take in relationships, and especially business relationships. You know, you can't be in a business with somebody or have a business with someone and work with them cohesively if it's not a symbiotic relationship. You know,
Right.
we're supposed to both benefit off each other. You give me money for my services,
Right.
and I service for the money, you know, like
Right.
that's how the world goes round.
Right.
You know, that's why I don't understand people who don't tip, because I'm offering you a service.
Get them.
Period. Like we all are offering you a service, which is presenting you your food and having it prepared at your expense, maybe, but also I'm giving you the food, and then now you're demanding me for ketchup and demanding me for, like, you know, silverware and
Exactly.
something cleaner and environment.
That industry has created like a very toxic environment for people, because not only do they get paid, so at least in Texas, we only get paid like at most $3,
Yes.
like maybe.
$2.13 an hour.
And then it's all reliant on the charity and, you know,
goodwill of others.
other people. And I feel like that's why people in the food service industry end up burning out so quickly, is
Yes.
because so many people
So
that I've
thankless.
experienced like just don't know the etiquette,
They are ingrates.
just don't know etiquette.
They don't have any gratefulness.
Yeah,
Actually.
they don't. I mean, it's really cool when you get like that $40 tip, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, how many $40 tips versus how many $0 tips have I had? You know, I've had
Literally.
more $0 tips than, you know, anything over 20, honestly.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
or maybe even, you know, 50. Big parties, you know, don't count them.
I remember I was with I had a friend, and they posted on Twitter, is it necessary to tip your waiter, or is it just a suggestion?
Oh my god, a suggestion?
Like, or is it just like whatever, you know what I mean? And I was all like
I've never been so offended.
literally Me going to work and I have to read this.
Yo,
There's
literally.
people out here
Unfriend.
that don't know. No, for real, unfriend.
Shout
There's
out.
people out here that don't even know that they're supposed to tip. That's
It's so crazy to
crazy.
me.
That's
It's so
crazy. That's
crazy.
privilege. If
Yeah.
I ever seen privilege in my life, it's that.
That's why everyone that I have met in the food industry has always said, I think that everybody, at least once in their life, even just for a week, has to work a food service job because they don't understand how shitty we are treated. And that is the reason why people come into restaurants or fast food chains and treat the workers like shit. Because they don't understand the etiquette. They don't know what we're working with. They don't know what we're working for, really. Like,
Yeah.
pennies, y'all. We're working for pennies. We don't even see the $2.13 on a paycheck. They take that out for our taxes. Like, even then, sometimes we don't even see all of the tips that you give us, because we're tipping out other people. They're taking more taxes away from us because of the tip that you gave us. Like, it's a whole fucking scam, honestly.
It's a scam.
It's a goddamn scam.
And then this is why we get burnt out, y'all.
Exactly, period.
At the end of the day.
And that's why it's really difficult to find anything, to be grateful for, because, you're dealing with so many people that are so ungrateful for everything that they have handed to them. Literally food handed to them. Now they just want the fucking spoon in their mouth.
And to buy special
too.
shoes for this.
Yes, yeah, literally.
and
they don't even work. They make my feet.
And you're gonna be mad that we don't have Sapporo or whatever the fuck you want.
Toe ASMR.
Ew.
Nah.
That's
that's because of y'all.
That's because of y'all.
Look.
My bunions.
Audience, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know where we were going with that tangent. Anyway, that's why people are burnt out.
Yes.
Well, like pissed off.
No, it was because we were talking about how it's so difficult to be grateful for things, especially in an environment like that. The fuck? Y'all ingrates, motherfucker, make me ungrateful. It's hard. That's because true. I'm surrounded in an environment with ungrateful people, and it's not just the customers, it's also the people that I'm working with.
True.
The people who are in charge of us. They're so ungrateful for the smallest of things, the best of days, and they'll still find something wrong with whatever their ego is caught up in. Really. Right. And it's the worst because then your ego is in the way of making you feel grateful. And your ego is nothing. Your ego is what makes you human. I understand.
Oh, that's something I wanted to bring up too. Yeah. Was all I feel like people don't want to be grateful because they assume that that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? They're all like, well, that's how it's supposed to be, so why should I be grateful for it?
Ooh, I hate that. That is also entitlement. That's entitlement. That's and privilege. Exactly. And it's nothing that you should be exercising yourself to unless you have actually earned this right. That's right. This is a privilege, actually. It's not a right.
Do you feel like that's why the older generation is all like, well, I built myself up from the bottom, so now I can act like this?
I think that some people are like that. Yes, definitely.
Not just the older generation, obviously, but anybody can be like that. I built myself from the bottom so I could act like this.
Yeah.
And
a lot of
you're not upholding the standards of this restaurant, so I'm going to treat you like shit now, and I'm going to make sure your tip is shitty. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, though, is that some people, though, they didn't earn that right. Just because you own a business doesn't mean that you earned that right to be the owner of that business, honestly. Especially if you don't know how business works. If you don't understand how the food industry works, the restaurant business works, retail, call center, you have no business in that business. You need to experience it how other people experience it before you are actually able to become a good leader. And that's the thing, is that I think that if I didn't have as much of a struggle with my ego and my mental stability, then I think that I would have been a great manager. Because I have been through all of the different positions. I have worked in several different restaurants in all of those positions. And, I have the experience and I know how to talk to my employees and how to talk to my customers now. It's through experience. And your boss in particular, and a couple of other of my bosses, they have never been through the fucking ringer like we have. You know, they've never served in a restaurant. They've never bartended at a restaurant. They've never, you know, been a bar manager. How are you supposed to run a bar or a restaurant if you haven't even been through that with somebody else's concept? You know what I mean? You can't just watch 5 YouTube videos and then think that you know how to run a bar. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just watch Bar Rescue on whatever that channel is and think, oh my God, I know how to run a bar now. Like, no, girl, you don't. Just because you watch Gordon Ramsay doesn't mean that you know how to cook.
Yeah, there's so many other skills necessary for any industry, such as like leadership, communication, organization, time management, like just management over people in general, like
and that's also why it's so difficult for us to be so grateful, because we understand why they are failing. We see the reasons why they're failing, and we're trying to tell them. We're trying to like list everything out for them, to let them know, like, hey, this is what people are unhappy with. This is why customers won't come in. This is why your employees are upset at you. This is why your, you know, employees don't want to do their job when they come in. Like, you can plainly list everything out for them, and they will still ignore you. Yep. And that is why you can get so burnt out, because you're trying to reason with someone who has unreasonable demands, because they don't understand how that business works. And it's like a cycle, you know. The more that they don't listen to you, the more that they don't understand how their business works, and the more that they are just so like subservient to these old traditions, these old ways of learning, when in reality we understand how it works. Like, you need to practice, you need to start implementing, you know what I mean? You can't just talk about it, you can't just read up on it, you can't just watch videos on it, you have to actually start doing it, you know what I mean?
Practice.
And exactly, like, and
I feel like this goes into like baby steps until you get to the, I like what you posted on your story. It was about celebrate the small wins, and I feel like this also ties back into gratefulness.
Yes.
Do you want to tell them what your story was?
Oh yeah, well, it was just me doing my leg presses today. Period. But I started at the beginning of April, you know, at 170, or I started the beginning of April at 270. So like, I think it was 3 plates on each, or 2, I don't know. It's however many plates on each side. It started out at 2 on each side, and now I'm at 4.5. You know, I'm 4 plates plus the 25 plates on each side.
Damn.
Like, and it happened so quick to me. It happened fast for me, because these are the smallest things, you know. Yeah, okay, a 10-pound weight doesn't seem like much. 25-pound weight doesn't look like much in comparison to those 45s that you have right next to it, but it's still something, you know. This is something small, but it's to build it up to something bigger, you know. Right. Now my gains, my fucking gains, bro. Yeah. they're gains, because I slowly started doing more and more. It's progressive overload. I started putting more weight, and I'm starting to build up my muscle, and now my muscles are so fucking strong, dude, and I'm proud of it. Like, I have to be happy about the 5-pound plate that I put on my leg press. You know, what am I gonna give myself credit for if I don't even give myself credit for the small things?
Exactly.
You know, and
that's something I was telling Merlin.
Good.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to be a little bit more proud of the fact that he got 2 commissions this month, which is like a big deal, low key, from somebody who
had none,
who did art for fun, you know what I mean? And then they started dating an artist. Okay, they're practicing more, to all the way like getting their own commissions.
Yeah, like, people want your
like,
art
that's
now.
Awesome. Like, your individual art, like, you have become to where you can fully sustain yourself. Not sustain yourself, amazing. But you're able to put yourself out there and get like word of mouth going. You know what I mean? It's like, amazing. That's awesome.
It's really cool.
So I was trying to get him to like, okay, that's an accomplishment. You know what I mean? To him, it wasn't really a big deal. And so I feel like that type of way of thinking eventually is going to lead you into like burnout. You know what I mean? Yes. It's because like, oh, okay, all this stuff isn't a big deal unless I get the $400 sell.
Yes.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love that.
Yeah, same.
But $50 is also good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
No, you have to celebrate the small things.
yeah, and especially because you went from no commissions to 2 commissions.
Exactly.
That's already like, I think he made like over $100.
Oh my God,
like in just
wow.
this month in art. You
That's
know, that's more than
amazing.
some people do. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I'm all like, bro, you got to celebrate the little things
Yes.
because you're going to be so much more appreciative along the way. The journey
Yes.
is like the most important part. That's something my dad
It
always
is.
tries to tell me for sure.
It is. Oh.
But yeah, just about the little things, like being grateful for the incremental steps and enjoying the process is going to stave off the burnout a little bit longer.
Yes.
But
I
when it
agree.
comes to like situations that you have no control over is where I'm taking this, is kind of like, okay, you're doing all these small things, but then something big happens. It hits you in the face. What now?
Okay, so like you're celebrating your small wins now. You're grateful, and then a big challenge.
Big challenge.
Okay. I mean, how would you combat that? How would you view that?
I would, like, for me, it's just like kind of like diving in. You know, like
okay.
I'm a very much of like, okay, I was overwhelmed, but now I have no choice but to just dive in and do it.
It's true.
And that's freaking scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's scary to do it. Like, taking the chance that, like, my art career is going to blow up. You know, like, I don't know that for sure. Like, when I know it's going to happen, but I just don't know when it's going to happen. So
Right.
that's a risk. But I just dove into it because it was too much. The high risk, high reward is worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
Good. Valid.
I don't know what other situation that might pop up, but for me, it was more about like, okay, if I'm not going to start my art business now, then when? So I might as well just do it now and work my way up.
Yeah.
So that's what Deity Collective was at first.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we evolved into what we are now, Deity Studios, by incremental steps and dealing with situations as they came, by remaining calm and, you know, remembering our values of being like a good person, being kind, and approaching things with a more like softer touch, I feel. Unless, you know, a situation requires like a more like heavy hand, but
Right.
you know,
Of
like
course.
honesty or like calling somebody out.
Yes.
That
Communication.
that never happened in our business or anything like
Right.
that.
Well.
But just like
Well.
well, a couple times.
But it's because you had to communicate with them, and
Right.
the only way that you could was to call them out.
Right.
Because I mean, how else are they going to listen? You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And unfortunately, that's the case with a lot of people. Is that they just have this like barrier to them where they just don't listen. They don't understand where people are coming from unless, you know, you're yelling at them or you're getting upset at them or you're, you know, voicing your expectations, you know, and that's not a problem. It's not an issue. It's just something that you're doing so that you guys can get on the same page.
Right.
But some people take that in such a wrong way. And
For sure.
for what reason? You know, like I'm trying to help you so you can help me too. You know, we're trying to benefit from each other. This is a business at the
It's
end of
just
the
their
day.
ego.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. People get hurt by their ego getting hurt.
Right.
You know, but those are the times that you need to release your grip on your ego for just a little bit, because that's what constructive criticism is. You know what I mean?
Yes. And
It's
that
not-
might be somebody's big wall to get over, is actually being criticized for what they do. Like I get my
Period.
feelings hurt real bad.
Same.
Like when somebody comes for me and I'm like, oh shit, you're right.
Yep.
I'm such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
my bad.
my bad. Like, but I'll do better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll do my best to do better. But as for like the big like wall thing, I guess the only way you can do is like really assess it. You know, like make a plan and
Yes.
attack it
That's what I was gonna say.
incrementally, like the exact same way that you're doing everything else. But like, okay, you have this, for example, like you have this huge mural you want to paint.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to take it by steps in order to finish that.
Ooh, I
Or
see.
if it's something a little bit more traumatic, like somebody dies in the family.
Oh, wow,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Okay, that's a big event.
That's true.
How do we tackle this? Not only do I have to handle my own emotions, but I also want to be there for my friends or my family members.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
That's true.
tackling it in that way, like, you know, death is a natural part of life.
Yes.
Understanding that first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and then dealing with your emotions first, because you got to put the oxygen tank on you first or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you can handle, hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
maybe your siblings or like your uncles or
Yeah.
aunts who are also feeling you know, it from the passing, and you're all just there for each other.
Yes.
You know, that's maybe one all the other situation that is too big
Yes.
to like just take on, and you kind of got to break it down into steps.
Exactly. And like I totally agree with how you kind of handle things. I also particularly enjoy how you described it with death, you know, in general. I think that is something that we will have to talk about eventually, especially
For
on
sure.
as a topic. I would love that, honestly. But I also think that that way of thinking can be applied to also just every situation, you know, that you are caught in. You know, a lot of things happen in life that you don't expect. You know, there's people that come in and out of your life for reasons unknown to you, but you can create that reason, you know?
That's right.
And it's about how you feel, how you take care of yourself, and how you react and behave.
That's right.
And because you can't control other people, you can't control your circumstances, sometimes you can't control situations. And that's okay because you're just you, you know? You're doing your best, and you have to give yourself credit for that.
Period.
And I think that where I was going with that was that, like I was saying about that guy, um, I think that, you know, he asked me a lot of questions. He asked me a lot of like very personal, like thought process questions. You know, how do I think? And I think that he was really enraptured by the way that I think, which I really appreciate. You know, and I adore people who want to learn more about me so that they can learn more about themselves. You know, not only are they learning from me, they're also taking what I'm saying and they're applying it to themselves. I absolutely love my friends that are like that, you know?
Yeah, that is nice. Camaraderie.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
Because, you know, all of us have been through something. We all have like a common factor in that we have some kind of like trauma, you know? I know that, you know, not everybody goes through trauma like we have, you know, but they can also take this wisdom and apply it to whatever situation they're going through. And with him in particular, I think that he was letting other people's energies really affect him and put him down. And that's why he was feeling ungrateful. That's why he was feeling burnt out. He was feeling overwhelmed, stressed, everything negative in the book, you know. And I totally understand that. I've been there. I have done that. I'm still doing it. You know, I'm very anxious and very depressed sometimes. But at the end of the day, like, who am I really living this life for? It's for me. We only have this one human life that we know of currently. And why am I going to take this time to make myself miserable with these feelings that I have held in towards somebody else or some situation?
Ooh, I like that.
I can't let myself get caught up in these
Stand
feelings.
up.
Yeah, stand up. Yeah, it's okay to feel your feelings. Feel them, you know. Be angry, be upset, be sad, feel that. But also learn that this isn't what you want. Feeling isn't what you want to feel all the time, right? You have to let it go. You have to learn how to let it go. You have to learn to let the past go, be in the past, be in the present moment. You know, meditating helps a lot of people. Maybe it doesn't help you per se because maybe you don't even know how. Maybe you don't know where to start. It's okay to just even take time to, like, you know, appreciate where you are and feel yourself, you know, hug yourself, feel your skin, you know, like, you know, you can say, oh, I have bumpy skin, or like, oh, I have so many scars on myself, or oh, my calluses are so gross. Okay, cool. Those are all very negative things about you, but, you know, why do you have those calluses? Do you work very hard? Do you lift weights at the gym? You know, why do you have those scars? Did you go through something? Did you, you know, scrape yourself? Did you cut yourself while you were working? Like, you know, think about the things that you've done and accomplished in the process. It's not just about what you feel, how you feel in the moment, but also what you're going to take from it. If you get what I'm saying.
I love that. Yeah,
okay,
I love
cool.
that. Stand up.
Yeah, period. Stand up. You know, I think that it's difficult to get out of burnout when you don't have the necessary feelings and tools and virtues really to get out of it. But at the end of the day, you are the only person who can remind yourself that this is your life. This is something that you should be grateful for, even though you didn't ask to be alive, even though you didn't ask for this particular body, you know, this particular circumstance. At least you were granted a chance, you know. At the end of the day, what else would we have been? You know, we don't even know. We don't even know if we would have been just, you know, an alien, or maybe we would have been an ant on the ground, you know, but yet we're humans. We have a whole life. We have a whole a brain to think with, an empathy, a sympathetic nervous system to feel, you know, like a parasympathetic to, you know, move around. It's crazy, you know. We shouldn't even be here, really. Like, thinking about how many planets and galaxies exist around us that don't have, you know, humans, that don't have life forms like us, you know. You should be grateful. Even though you have been through so much shit, at least we went through all of this shit to get to where we are now. And with all of that shit comes great knowledge and wisdom. Right. And yeah, you can feel so sorry for yourself. Feel it. It's okay to cry. Like, okay, I've been through the trauma. Like, my poor inner child is screaming and she's so sorrowful and she was mistreated. But also, that was when I was a kid. That was back then. Like, now I'm grown up. How can I nurture myself to understand that I have myself now? I love myself now, you know?
And that takes work.
Yeah. It takes work. And burnout. Burnout, honestly, is a huge learning tool.
Yep. It's a
necessary almost.
I wouldn't say it's necessary. But definitely it's something that's real. Yes. It's alive in today's society, and everybody feels burnout. Yes. Even my parents, my grandma, you know, like, everybody feels burnout. I don't know one human that don't. Exactly.
And it's okay.
And that's okay.
Feel it.
Period. Do you want to see what questions we got from the audience?
Oh yeah.
I think it was Instagram, right?
It was in the messages.
Okay, but let me see. I misplaced my phone. Oh, it's in my Bucci.
Ew.
Found gross. It. It's nice and warm.
Ew. Disgusting. Destiny, my love.
Shout out, Des. Yes. Thank you for continuing to watch us.
Yes. I love you. I love you so much. I miss you so much. I hope that we can hang out soon.
Butterfly crew.
That's our cult. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Not kidding. Join the cult. She asked what to do when you feel burnout with work and home life.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that right now.
Yeah. We did cover a little bit about that, and I personally like to journal, of course, with work and with home and with school. I think that all of that just got piled on top of each other, and then I started overindulging. That's why I was overindulging, was because everything was piling up on me, and I didn't want to be responsible for it yet. So what I just did today was I listed out everything that I needed to do with each facet of my life. So my first generation like stream, and then my first generation YouTube and coding, and then I also had our podcast on there as well. And then I had my friends, family, relationships on a different page, different journal altogether. And I was like, okay, these are the things that I want to hit. These are the habits that I want to instill in myself. How can I implement that in daily life? And I'll just say it out loud, you know, write down what my Monday will look like, my Tuesday, all the way up through the week, you know, all 7 days a week, each hour of the day, you know. This is what I would like my schedule to look like, you know. At least I have a general idea of what my day is going to be centered around. So Mondays, I'm going to be focusing on our podcast. Tuesdays and Thursdays is going to be for my YouTube channel. Wednesdays is for my stream. Friday is going to be for social media posting. Saturday and Sunday is going to be for editing anything and everything. And every day I'm going to practice at least once with my coding. I'm gonna do like one function, or I'm gonna do one style on my web page or something.
Nice,
you know,
nice.
because they say like we have to push it every day. This is going on our portfolio. You know, this is all
Gotcha.
important to me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how I want to manage my time when I have my own business. So it's just something that you have to consistently work on for yourself, by yourself. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What about you though?
Ask me the question again.
How do you, or what do you do when you feel burnout with work and home life?
First of all, take a break.
Period.
Breathe.
Yes.
Take a nap. Eat some good food.
Nice. Yes. Food is important, yo.
Then you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna do better. This is all like depending on like what the situation is. When it comes to work, okay, do I need some time off work? Do I need to fix my attitude before I go into work? Do I need to not talk to certain coworkers so that I have productive days? Like it's all depending on like what you're doing individually at work. But definitely setting up some boundaries. Like you're not always going to be 100 at work, but you should definitely be like at your best, you know, when it
for that
day, you know what I mean? Like your best at that capacity, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm fucking like tired. I'm burnt out. Like I needed a vacation. So this next like week, I'm just going to give it like, you know, I'm just going to give it the good, honest try with the energy that I got, but not overexerting yourself, and being communicative with your boss about like how you're feeling. You know, you got to talk to your managers. That's what they're there for. If they make you feel like you are there because they like you need to be there, that's wrong. You know, I mean, maybe you do need to be there, but that's the wrong mentality for a manager to have or a boss to have. And that needs to be checked. That's an HR report.
Yes, period.
I've talked to you need to talk to your manager about how you feel, your burnout, stuff like that. And if they do not accommodate you, then that's a problem.
Period, girl.
Like,
yes. I totally
especially if you're a hard worker and you go above and beyond for them, and they're not accommodating how you feel, that's an issue. Like that's something that needs to be stopped, and that's going to take a little bit of masculine energy. With your family, I would say, let's see, how would I handle my family? Honestly, burnout from my family is pretty common because I feel like they're just a bunch of characters. Like every single one of them is a character. And I feel like that's most Latino families, is that everybody's just a character. And so trying to relate to them on their level, if they're younger, your parents too, like if you're just being overwhelmed by them, maybe telling them that they're just being too much and you just need some like space a little bit. Or it's important. Maybe they're like cutting into you too much a little bit, and you just like, honestly, you gotta chill. If there's anybody you can be real with, it is your family, because like all you have to do is be like, chill out. Don't talk to me like that. If you ever talk to me like that again, guess what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Communicate. It's okay to communicate with people, and sometimes you don't have to, you know, say it like that.
I was a little aggressive with that,
but sometimes people do need that. You know, there are certain people that you have in your family that, you know, they are comfortable with you talking like that, especially if they need to fucking snap out of it.
I'm a big vocal person in my family, I feel. But
I'm a little too vocal sometimes, girl.
Sorry. I got some straight.
I'm just kidding. You do. Period, girl. And then our lovely guest from the last podcast, Maxine.
Moxalicious.
She
trademarked.
Had asked, pretty rocks, they help? Question mark.
Pretty rocks.
Yeah.
Crystals?
Because my story was
crystals.
The crystals, yeah.
So crystals, to me, the way I choose to think about them, I'm scared it's going to fall, is that they are purely for reminders. Like
yes.
you look at your crystal and you set an intention upon it. Like, for example, I have a rose quartz. Okay, I set the intention upon this crystal that it is going to remind me that I need to love myself. I need to love my body. I need to provide more loving energy to my relationships around me. And that's all that is for me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So all it is really a reminder for, it's like checking myself. You know what I mean? Like making sure I'm good. And so people have different crystals depending on different things. People do say that they offer.
I want to show mine.
They also have like certain properties to them, vibration, stuff like that. Oh. Not in the shoe.
I know, I gotta cleanse that one now.
Show them.
But I have some in the study that we have, because these are the ones that I want for like productivity, for individuality, and for creativity. And this is a new one that I got with my lovely, beautiful friend Kaylee.
Come on. Period.
You know, one of those bitches.
Come on, makeup.
This is Unakite. I got it from this awesome little gem store at the Pearl. And it's beautiful. I like...
It looks like roses were painted on there or something.
Right. I love the color. The color is beautiful. But I'm going to use this as my reminder for my individuality. This is what the intention was set on the stone when I initially came into the store. A lot of gem stores, they'll have like the meaning behind the stone and like, you know, what the gem's properties are for, you know, for your what chakra it's for, you know, your sacral or your sacral, your crown, whichever one you want, or whichever one they want. Right. And the properties that it really helps with. So this one helps with individuality, it helps alleviate stress, and it promotes productivity. So Unakite. Nice.
I love that.
I love it. Yeah. I have this one for stress relief. It's Howlite. Period. And then the other one I already shared before, it was a peacock ore. And I got that for the both of us because it's supposed to be for like business. Let me see if I have more. Yeah, right. It's supposed to be for like business ventures, for creativity, and also for productivity as well. So I also agree with Angel in that I use these stones, these gems, to really remind myself that, hey, this is, you know, what you're going for. This is the kind of like energy that you want, you know, and we'll take these gems, we'll take these stones and we'll cleanse them, we'll purify them, and then we'll recharge them. You know, this is about time that we should
full moon,
super moon, in fact. Period. So they're gonna be charged the fuck up, you know, bitch.
I just remembered that I gave my mom like a rose quartz bracelet, and I told her don't take this off because I put a protection on this, and I also set it the intention that this is for self-love already. And then she took it off. She was wearing it. She's like, I feel like everything bad has been happening since I started wearing this thing. And I'm all like, I didn't tell you how you were gonna get self-love. But that's just the journey that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to send you on that journey of self-love. I'm sorry.
But also, you're welcome.
But also, wake up.
Yeah.
I got this peacock right here that Audrey gave me. I'm still gonna show it because it's cute.
Yes, it is cute. It's holographic.
I use that one really I'll like take it with me when I go to markets and stuff. Because I like the blue energy that it gives off. It's very like throat chakra.
Yes, yes.
And then I also have this clear smoky quartz. Yeah. And this one is for like grounding energy. It likes to keep me a little bit more in the mental space of like analytical kind of vibes.
Ooh, okay.
So very like business oriented, obviously in the office. Yeah. So
I like
that kind of stuff. I want to get some tiger's eye, but I haven't had the time to go to my little witch shop.
I actually have 2 tiger's eye if you want one of them.
Give me one.
Okay, cool. All right, fine.
I have a lot more crystals on my altar, and I just use those as like connection to like my spirit guides or like my ancestors, my grandpa, stuff like that. And then I have like a sunstone, which is like promotes positive masculinity. Yeah, so I like to have that one in my pocket whenever I'm going into like a leadership role.
Ooh,
Or
okay.
like I have to take on more of a role of like when I was a teacher, I would have that always with me, because it was just like, this is who I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be like a good, masculine, positive role model.
Yes,
You know what I
I
mean?
love that.
Despite like whatever these kids like notion of a gay person is. You know what I mean?
Nice. That's awesome.
My mic.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
But I totally agree. I think that's really awesome. It's a good use of something that, you know, it can come cheap. It can, you know,
Cheap enough.
yeah, exactly. And it also provides you, you know, something spiritual-esque. You know, it doesn't mean that you know, have to stop going to church if you like crystals. You know, it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
mean
silly.
anything crazy. It doesn't mean it's witchcraft or anything.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing, is that like people will call this stuff witchcraft when it's literally like
and stuff.
they'll
It's
probably
not.
be doing worse things to offend people
Yeah, exactly.
when they go to church, like maybe once a month.
Exactly.
Shade.
And yeah, shade. Period. But it's also just so easy to get lost in the fucking sauce, you know? This is some grounding energy. You know, this is a part of the earth. This was a part of the earth for a while, you know? Gems don't come out of nowhere. You know, it has to happen.
Some of
over
them are
time.
man-made, but yeah, go
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry. Getting back to like the where it ties in with like burnout though, it's just about the energy of you being reminded of what your values are and how to uphold them through tough times.
Yes.
Like that's all crystals are. That's all any kind of spiritual practice is you being present for moments that are difficult.
Yes.
And making you a little bit more of a better person in your eyes, and to whatever that is. Period. Your vision, you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And spirituality does not mean religion. It doesn't mean God or Jesus. It means something about you. Jesus. It means something about your spirit. You know what I mean? It's right. Something solely for you. It doesn't have to be anybody and everybody else's belief. It's okay if you don't believe in gems. You don't have to buy these rocks if you don't want them.
Birdie rocks.
Yeah, the rocks. But I particularly enjoy them because they are really nice reminders of like, okay, well, this is what I should be doing, you know, at this moment, or this is something that I should keep in mind while I'm doing this, you know? So I think that I really appreciated it whenever you first gave me a worry stone. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, it was a really beautiful blue gem. I forgot what it was called.
I don't even remember.
But, yeah. But I don't even know where it's at now. I'm so sorry.
We've moved like 16 times already, so it's fine.
Yeah, a lot.
I lost some of my gems too.
Yeah.
And moves and just going through life.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently losing a gem is like a sign of like you letting go of like certain things, or also you letting go of like either positive or negative things. Like it's up to the circumstances. Like if somebody breaks their bracelet or like breaks a crystal, like they drop it or something, like I always ask them, what were you thinking about or what were you doing at the time? And usually the correlation between the disruption of the crystal is like having to do with like whatever you were doing or your mental state. Right. Like it's a symbol. Ooh. But that's just my own spirituality. You could have just dropped it.
Yeah.
There was this one time though, like for example, like I was having my worry stone in my hand, and it was a rose quartz worry stone. And I made the decision that like while my friend was over, that I was going to stop being their friend. Oh. And I dropped it as soon as I decided that, oh, I think I'm done with this dude. Like, I don't really want to be their friend anymore. I think we're just better off like being separate and letting him live his life and I'll live my life, because we're just not, we're growing in two different separate situations. Yeah. I became more metaphysical and he was very physical being, which I totally respect. Go live your life the way you want to live it, but I'm not going to be a part of that, unfortunately. I like and that. As soon as I thought that, like I dropped, which he gave me that crystal,
Oh, wow.
And it completely broke. And I didn't.
Wow.
And I remember like looking at him
Full circle.
like this, like I was all like squinting my eyes at him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" And I was just like, "Nothing. Just thinking about something." And then I dropped
Just
it.
thinking about something. About how you're a piece of shit.
God bless him.
Yeah, God
I still
bless
love him, but I have a lot of love for him. But you know,
That's
you gotta let relationships go whenever you need to grow. You know what I mean?
Period.
If people are preventing you from growing or like not wanting to see you how you want to be seen because they think that they know the real you, then it's time for a change, because you're not putting your perception of me on me.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good point to end off on, I think. I think individuality is a beautiful thing, period.
That's a thumbs up from us.
Yes.
Individuality.
Yeah. I'm sorry if you guys are feeling burnt out, but
Period.
don't feel too sorry for yourself to where you can't pick yourself up again. You are a strong individual, and you can use that strength to really pull you out of that rut or that hole or whatever is making you feel burnt out. You know, everybody has strength in them to pull themselves out of something. You know, it's just about how you use it.
Period. That's beautiful.
Thank you. But
Good.
outfit of the day.
Oh.
Before my camera runs out of battery, that's why I'm ending it. Beautiful, cute little sweater vest. It's checkered. Oh, the knees. Damn. The white pants, period. The pearls. I love.
Merlin got this at a thrift store, I think.
Yes.
And then
Cute.
I love white pants, honestly.
Yeah.
You can never go
Some
wrong with
chinos.
white pants,
Yes, I like it.
You?
Mine.
Bum ass. No, I'm just kidding. I like it. You were definitely in the spirit of this episode.
Burnt out,
the
right?
color theory.
But also,
on point, though.
Thank you.
Come on, mint socks with your purple pants.
Period. I think that I'm mostly a color person anyway. So.
Period. Giving lavender.
Period.
Giving
Yes.
lavender and mint.
Yes. Soft
Period.
touch.
Lavender, mint, honey. Period.
Feminine. So y'all, this is our last live podcast for now.
Yeah, we should probably tell them.
Yes, yeah. For now, this is our last live podcast. We're going to switch to recorded podcasts so that we can start streaming it on Spotify, on Apple Music. So watch out for those releases. But we will be dropping it, our other podcast. It's going to be recorded. We're dropping it next Monday.
Yes.
But after next Monday, we're going to be switching to dropping it on Tuesdays. So that we can record it on whenever days we have available.
Heard.
So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, this is Angel. Do you want to do your little plugs for the outro?
Yeah. Outro plugs.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram, Avocado Papi. I make a lot of art. Yes. I do a lot of good art.
Yes.
I'm creating a comic book with my boyfriend called Brujas.
Yes.
I'm live streaming me creating the cover for that artwork, and there's going to be a lot more artwork being uploaded to my Patreon. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, make sure that you go over to my Patreon, drop $3, and you'll get access.
Period. And I just linked our link trees to the bottom of the description too. So
Dope.
If you guys want to check out any of our other social medias, what we're up to, we usually post on Instagram almost every day-ish.
I post 2 times a week, probably.
Yeah, at least. I try to post at least like one positive affirmation like a day.
Period.
You know, just for you guys. Love y'all.
Follow.
Yes, my name is Audrey Tan. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitch at First Generation. I should be the only one. But we may go through a rebranding, maybe.
Yeah, we're thinking about a rebrand for the name.
But we will definitely ask you guys if you follow us on Instagram. So,
period.
Yeah, thank you guys. I hope y'all have a beautiful week and a nice 4th of July. Y'all be safe.
Happy 4th of July.
Enjoy the supermoon too.
Yeah.
Period.
Don't get burnt out, bitch.
Yeah.
Stop the stream.